So hey, how's it going? So it was time to have this talk, to come clean on everything that's been going on, I've been here, as you can see, the camper's right behind us here. This is Wanagi and I's home. This is why I bought this truck. We came back from the Philippines, amazing adventure. We had that truck camper thing that we made there, converted, and we traveled all over the Philippines. It was amazing, but we needed to get back to the United States because, I need to be around my parents are getting older and they're having some difficulties in life, and I wanted to be around for that, to assist, Philippines was an amazing adventure, but it wasn't gonna be for long term for me because of my financial situation and my physical health. I have spinal cord injuries. That's why I'm disabled. That's why she's my service dog, Wanagi. And I had a couple episodes in the Philippines, and they were scary. And my back went out, and I was in the middle of nowhere, and it was troubling that. Because they weren't the worst ones I've ever had. I've actually, since I've been back in the United States, I've had an episode where I was on the ground for 3 days. I couldn't even get up to pee on my own. I had to have a friend lift me up off the ground and then lower me back down to the ground because I couldn't do it under my own control. It's my spinal cord injuries. But the past 2 weeks we've been here in Ensenada. Right now we're sitting in the service bay of the Ensenada Ford dealer here in Ensenada, Mexico. Because I had to tow my car up here. I towed it 7-hour tow truck ride. Cost a lot of money, and because this was the closest place, well, not the closest place, but the reality was it was the closest Ford dealer, and it's a 250 Ford F-250 truck, and so I needed to get it back to a mechanic that was going to be able to really look it over and tell me what was going to happen to the truck and what my options were. The irregardless of what and how we got in this situation, whose fault that is and everything, isn't really relevant anymore to the situation. I was overwhelmed by having it have a mechanical failure on the engine. It only had less than 75,000 miles on the truck. I know the person I bought the truck from. It was well maintained, and there was nothing wrong with the vehicle. And for it to have an engine failure like it did was a catastrophic engine failure. It quite frankly, it took my feet out from underneath me. Because again, this is our home. This is why I bought it, is so her and I could survive, because we can't survive in the United States like a normal person does, because I'm on disability, and even that disability isn't as much because I had to retire early because of my spinal cord injuries, and there's a whole history behind that and how much struggle I had with the United States government taking care of me and giving me the disability. It was a war. It was a fight, and it almost took me out. I just got to a point where I just didn't have any more fight in me, and wanted to give up. And I'm glad I didn't. I got Wanagi as a result after that fact. And but what's happening now is the Ford is toast. The engine's, from what I've been told here, it's dust. The amount to fix it is like almost twice what I paid for the truck, and that's just not a possibility for me on budget and what I have. I invested most of my money into this truck, like you would a home or something, and it provided, and it was amazing, and we had some great expectations for coming down here into Baja and doing some content and having some adventures together, her and I, and meeting people and just kind of continuing on what we started in the Philippines. And that came to an abrupt halt. And I had other ideas too in the United States, where we were going to go in the springtime, headed up to Idaho, and all these other things, but they're all kind of irrelevant now because we find ourselves in a situation where we don't have a truck wheels anymore. We're staying here. They've let us stay here while we kind of sort out what's going on with the engine. They've kind of come up with their solution, which is not a solution for me. It's just too much money, and I'm hoping there's another option. So the bottom line is we've been here living in this, I've got a cold too. I had a lot of things happen. Even got sick on top of it. Last night she was sick, throwing up all night, and then throwing up this morning, and I was so worried that I was going to lose her. It kind of shook me, and then I realized that she's the only thing that really matters. Wanagi in my life, this puppy dog, you know, she's a blessing. She was a gift, and I need to remember that. And so I'm so grateful she's okay today. She ate some food and she drank water, and she's doing a lot better. We went for a nice long walk, and she's just happy right now to be outside in the sun instead of inside there. We've been in for a little bit because I wanted her to take it easy today. But what are the plans? Well, the plans are tomorrow I'm calling a mechanic. I talked to his partner yesterday, and he lives up in about 3.5 hours away from here, out of Mexico into the United States, up towards Southern California where my parents live, not far from my parents' house. And so the plan is I talk to them on Monday. The main mechanic guy's coming in. I'm going to let him know everything about what happened with the truck in the circumstance, and then as it went from when I first noticed some problem to where the car wouldn't run anymore, and we got it here. And so I'm hoping that in that discussion that he will think that there's a possibility that it could be rebuilt, that new seals and all that stuff and new gaskets in the engine could be rebuilt, drained out, and then put new fluids in and all that with all the new seals, and that hopefully that he can get the engine running and that there's no major damage done. And even if there was some damage, that he could fix it within a budget that I could afford to have it fixed at. Because my only other option is to walk away and leave this truck in Mexico and just go back to the United States and try and find another mode of transportation, which would be a lot less than what this is. Because I don't have that much money to replace this. I also, the deal that I got from my friend, amazing person, I love her to death, I just couldn't get the same, probably would be, I shouldn't say I couldn't, it's just, it would be difficult to find that same sort of everything that we need to survive, her and I, and we're so grateful for this. But so that's the plan ultimately, is I find out tomorrow morning, make a phone call, and find out what is the options that I have for the truck. And then if he thinks that there's a possibility that they want to take it on, look it over and see if that it's fixable with like what I said, then the next thing will be is to get a tow truck and actually tow it back to the United States, which is approximately going to be about 3.5 to 4 hour tow. And because what's involved in the mileage, it's going to be a pretty big price tag. The reality is probably somewhere between $2,500 to $3,000 US to tow it back, which is a significant hit on the budget that I have to put back to get the repairs done to this truck. But you know, the only other alternative is walking away from this truck. And besides the engine not running, I mean, everything else, the transmission, everything else seems to be fine in top order. The camper is great. It's provided a good, for while we've had it, an amazing house or accommodations for her and I, and it fits the bill for our adventure and for not being able to afford to pay rent like most people, because that's a reality. I've applied and looked into low-income housing again, even in San Diego and areas, but there's a 5 to 6 year waiting list on that. So that's just not a reality for us today. Maybe in the future that could come around, and we'll keep trying and find other options. And if the truck is done, then that may be what we have to do, is find shelter and live in shelters till we can find another way. You know, there's always options. They're not always what I want to do. It's not what I foresee for my life for the next year or two, but you know, that might be, I might have to just swallow my pride and just you know, accept what it is, you know. And anyways, so that's kind of what's going on. That's the plan. Tentative so far is just to make the phone call tomorrow, is Monday. The guy will be in at that truck repair shop in California, and go from there. But let me just tell you what this whole situation has done to me, for me, and everything. So it really felt like life was attacking me. That sounds weird or whatever, but there was just so many things that have gone wrong, like that one thing after another. It was like I thought maybe I was cursed, or I just was like I don't even know how to explain it. It just, I know bad shit happens, and you just got to roll with it. And some Becoming Filipino says, just rock on, despite everything. And the Filipino people, I've seen that in them is that their ability to just throw a smile on their faces and just continue on, through the hardships. And that's, given me some strength, and that experience has helped me. And I share with a lot of people. I have a large group of people that I'm in contact with, and we share a lot of the struggles that we go through in life. And I get to listen to them walk through the loss of children, the loss of husbands, wives, all sorts of unbelievable tragedy that they walk through, and that's what they do. They just walk through it. It's still painful. They share how emotional and how painful it is, and how hard it is to do that and face that, and just accept it for what it is, because sometimes there's no real reason why stuff happens to people. It just happens. It's just life, and life can be cruel, I ultimately think that I'm going to grow from this experience and grow stronger, because I'm not going to give up, essentially. I'm not going to just lay down and say, well, screw this, I'm done with life, There's just too much more to experience here for us, and for myself, and her love, it's just over the top. Like, despite everything, I can be sitting there in my head, and I'm just really in my head suffering at because of my own head, just like, oh, this is, I'm not going to get through this, or how am I going to get through this, or I don't have the money to do this or that, or oh my gosh, like all these things. And then she'll just be sitting there next to me and turn towards me, and I make eye contact with her, and she just looks at me and then just starts giving me kisses, just starts licking my face, because she just loves me no matter what. And that made me just go, yeah, dude, like drop that perspective of that being attacked by life is I'm experiencing life today. And it sucks, it's painful. Oh my God, I have relatives. I just had a relative today I found out was severely injured, could have lost her life. And I talked to them today. She's out of the ICU. I talked to her, I talked to my uncle, I talked to my cousin and her new husband. And they were like going, we're so sorry, Bill, about your truck. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, they almost lost their mother. I almost lost my aunt. And I'm worried about a material thing. Like, how ridiculous. That's the trappings of this world, right? We get so caught up in the material things around us that we think we need to be a whole person, or to survive, or to be a success in life. And it's a joke. It's an absolute facade. Like, it's not reality. We make it our reality, but it becomes, when you lose those things, and they can be taken away so fast. There's nothing that is guaranteed in this life. So I don't know. I'm a pretty deep conversation, but I had to share where I'm at, what's going on with me. It's because it helps me to open up and share this stuff and get it all out of me. It takes the energy out of it when I talk to other people or share with you guys, or just like this, because I feel like I'm talking to you guys, It's a camera, but there is people on the other end of this, and it matters, because people are following us and want to know what's going on with us. And you guys send us such great comments and such high, like, keep going, brother, keep charging, all that stuff. We love you, Wanagi, like all that stuff. And so, I mean, I owe it to myself, I owe it to my viewers, I owe it to just the world, not to give up and to just continue on. And I'll get through this, because I can be an example for other people that face challenges, and And whether who that reaches, I don't need to worry about who will see this video. I just need to know that I'm putting it out there, that it doesn't matter what comes up against you in life. You just carry on. Like, you just charge on. Like, you know, there's all those expressions in life. You can't, you know, all the fear, false evidence appearing real, fear, right? You can't let fear or looking at the future in your head telling you, oh, it's over now. Like the whole, you had a good run, brother, but this is it. YouTube's done. You're not gonna be able to continue on doing this. You're not gonna be able to do that. Like, you know, you're doomed now, you know, like bullshit, you know, that's bullshit. Sorry for the cuss words, but it is, you know. You just buck up and you walk through it, and you get courage as you're walking. You don't get courage before, you get courage as you take the action to move through it. And just despite everything, Hawanagi, we just keep trudging on because we're human beings, and that's what we can do here in life. And then that gives others hope. You know, so my hope is that I can make this video. You guys watch what I'm going through. You saw me in the road playing my drum. That was at my lowest. I was just not really at my lowest. A couple days later, even lower than that point. But I was really just like, what do I do? Like, I have no answers, you know. But answers will come. I have to have faith. I have to have hope. Hope. Even in the darkest hours, you have to have hope, because hope will help you survive anything. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to survive. And so I thank you for listening to me. I'm sorry I rambled on so long, but this is our camper. We're going to be towing it probably, hopefully, we'll see. But that's the plan. Get the okay from the mechanic, tow it back to the United States, and do the next indicated thing, get it fixed. And hopefully I have enough money. I'll start a GoFundMe, or I'll do what I need to do, and I'll come up with the money to get it fixed. Or if it's not fixable, then we'll take the next indicated thing. Maybe it's buying a cheaper truck and sliding the camper onto the new truck, or maybe it's selling the camper and selling the truck for whatever I can get for it, and then find a van or find another truck, or who knows what could happen. But if I keep trudging and I have hope, there's possibilities. And that's what we're excited for. We're excited for the possibilities of what is to come. And so I thank you for listening to me. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. We love you guys and appreciate you so much. You don't know how much you guys mean to me, following me and Wanagi. And yeah, we're gonna make it through this. So enjoy. I'll do some drone footage so you can see where we're actually at. And yeah, we're not done yet. We're gonna keep coming, keep joining us, and we're gonna keep trying to produce some good adventures, and hopefully the quality will get better and the adventures will get crazier and stronger. Life isn't an adventure till something goes wrong, and that's a fact. So thanks so much for joining us. Right on. Have a great one.
I'm driving down an empty freeway, no waiting for the light to change. I'm seeing the sunrise behind